12:05 in the afternoon here on 90.3 FM, helping seniors of Brevard. The Wednesday edition is back on the air. I'm John Harper, and right now let's bring in our host for today. Here's Jennifer Helin. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, John. How are you today?
Wonderful. Glad to be here, and glad to have the studio filled with such great-looking women.
Flattery will get you everywhere, John. I am very happy to have with me today two esteemed guests. On behalf of Helping Seniors of Brevard County, Joe Steckler and Carrie Fink. Carrie Fink is out today. He's coming back from his anniversary trip to Hawaii, so we welcome him back and safe travels. But we have Kim from our office. She's our information specialist. Kim is here with us today. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you, Jennifer.
It's so good to have you. And we also have Kelly from Vitas Healthcare, a great sponsor of Helping Seniors of Brevard County. Welcome, Kelly.
It's wonderful to be here.
Thank you so much. We're going to be talking a little bit about kind of what's happening this week. What is going on in the world of senior care, in what kind of phone calls we've been getting at Helping Seniors, how Kim has been helping our seniors, some events that are coming up, as well as our car raffle event that's coming up this Sunday at the museum for our 2020 ticket holders. It's a make good date from our 2020 when we couldn't be all together. So this Sunday we'll be back together at the American Muscle Car Museum. We will be Sunday 1 to 4. We are asking people to wear masks because, well, COVID is still here, unfortunately. But we want to be able to get together safely. So this Sunday, September 12th, 1 to 4 at the American Muscle Car Museum for our 2020 ticket holders. It's the make good date from last year. And speaking of COVID and things that are happening right now, Kelly, you stopped in my office over at Seniors Helping Seniors and let me know what Vitas is doing, kind of out of the box thinking to help our seniors during this time of COVID. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely. So we are able to care for patients with COVID. We even have a capability either to provide in their home around their loved ones with, some precautions taken into consideration, or at our inpatient unit for those who maybe have small children or another elderly family member at home who's high risk. There's a lot of things that we can do with providing those supports and services. We're even working with some of the hospitals and trying to transition the patients. We even offer non-invasive vent therapy with our respiratory therapy program. So there is an inclusive amount of services that we can provide and offer to those suffering right now with COVID.
That's really amazing. And I want to encourage people to reach out to Vitas Healthcare, because I think some of us have that misconception of Vitas as hospice, and nobody likes the word hospice and they get scared of that word. But your folks are really helpful in a lot of different ways. So it's not just hospice.
No, it's absolutely like complete concurrent care. So we work with other physicians. We have RX formularies. So that means you don't have to stop taking all of your medications, especially if they have, a specific purpose and they're actually providing you with care and symptom management. We offer a complete, like I said, full radiology team. We can actually work in conjunction with skilled agencies to provide those physical therapy, OT, and speech therapy needs. Social workers who are amazing human beings. They help so much with grief counseling and helping with those advanced directives for people who don't have, a power of attorney or healthcare surrogate. There's just an amazing plethora with our holistic team and thoughtful leadership, because we have educated providers and our staff are very detailed. So we can definitely approach a lot of different type of diagnoses. And especially our key thing is symptom management and reducing those ED and hospital visits.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So I encourage you, if you are thinking maybe 20 years ago of what hospice looks like, to reconsider what that is. And if someone needs some help, and especially with these days of COVID, I think that's a fabulous program to be able to, possibly take a senior that maybe doesn't really need to be in the hospital, but needs extra TLC. How could they get in touch with you? Where should they call?
Well, the best way to get in touch with me is really to reach 321-831-8165, because against all belief, we actually provide IV hydration and TPN and different therapies depending on the patient's needs. So we are very patient specific. So don't rule it out, and don't use that H word, that hospice word, to assume it's end of life. We are so much more, and we can get in there early and really provide full care to even the family members.
That is wonderful. I know, just a shout out, you had taken care of a client of ours a few years ago now, actually. She had taken a fall, ended up in the hospital, and you know how sometimes that goes. The folks from Vitas came in, took care of her for probably about 2 months, and she did so well. She rallied. She was with us for another 2 years.
That's what's so amazing is people think, oh, it's end of life. I've only have a week left to live. We need to call in a hospice provider. That's absolutely not the case. So we do a recertification period like every 90 days. And as long as there's a symptom to treat, then there's 4 levels of care that actually can be provided by Vitas. So that's general inpatient. We have intensive comfort care. We have routine home care and respite care. So depending on where you are and then your needs for care, you can come and go and access all different those 4 levels of care depending on your needs.
So definitely, take advantage of that, especially right now in these uncertain times. We're all looking for resources, thinking outside the box of how we can help our seniors, help our clients, help our family members. So be thinking about that. Keep that in mind. If you hear of a loved one or a friend who needs some services, Vitas Healthcare might be a great option for you. Speaking of resources, Kim is our information specialist, our resource guru here in the county. What are you seeing this week as far as phone calls to the helpline?
Believe it or not, a lot of home health needs, and also a lot of transportation.
So people needing transportation, what are they looking for typically?
Basically rides to the doctors, pretty much.
So doctor's transportations. Yep. And have you noticed over the last year and a half with COVID that those transportation needs and resources have changed?
It's actually increased. There's a lot more phone calls for it, a lot more.
So a greater need.
It's a lot. Mm-hmm.
And I know that I have talked to our friends over at Aging Matters, and I know they were having a hard time with volunteers. So have you noticed that, has that continued as far as the resources are concerned? Are the resources stretched?
It has. They are really hurting for volunteers, number one. Number two, they're so backed up. There's just such an overwhelming amount of people needing Meals on Wheels, transportation, you name it. They're so backed up.
So let's give a shout out to Aging Matters. If you would like to volunteer, I am sure they would love to have you for the Meals on Wheels program. Terry Stone at Aging Matters does the senior, I'm at a loss now. What is that? It's called? It's a senior resource volunteer program that Terry Stone runs at Aging Matters, and she can get you plugged into helping with Meals on Wheels, or possibly, Volunteers in Motion, getting seniors to doctor's appointments. So please reach out. We'll get you that number later in the show for that Volunteers for Aging Matters. When you're getting calls, Kim, about home health, what are people typically interested in having? What's the situation generally?
Believe it or not, it's actually a lot of housekeeping. A lot of, I need my kitchen clean, I need laundry done, I need meals done, that kind of thing. That's pretty much what they're looking for. There's really I'm not really seeing anything in the medical needs. It's basically the needs at home.
Gotcha. So at Seniors Helping Seniors, we do house cleaning as part of our services. But we've got our folks so busy. I've got a couple people, younger seniors, who love to clean houses, and we've got them at maximum capacity. So we're even referring people on at this point if they are just specifically needing cleaning, and that's the only thing that they need. And I'm also hearing that I've had 2 people just this week call and say I've called about 4 different cleaning companies, and they can't get me in. So that is definitely a need in the county for just basic house cleaning.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always something, but I've just noticed a lot of transportation needs, and definitely the house cleaning is a big one. That is a big one. But the biggest thing with the house cleaning is that a lot of people can't afford to do $25 an hour. That's the problem that they're facing.
And that's, typical of the charge for today. So that is a hard problem to solve here in the county. So I think our gentleman over there are offering to clean houses for free. Is that what you just said? Oh, he's saying no. He doesn't like to clean his own house.
It's all about the fixed income. I think the fixed income has a great deal to do with it. And one of the most interesting phone calls I've had recently is they need their grass cut. There's 3 people that live in the house, and there's only $800 between all 3 of them, and the leftover amount is about $34 to $35 a month.
Oh, wow. So cutting the grass is
another one. That was the most interesting phone call so far this week.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So plugging them into additional resources, they're calling for mowing the grass, but were you able to hook them up with maybe some additional source of income for food
stamps,
and other good?
Definitely food stamps for sure.
And I think that's typical of the phone calls that we get at Helping Seniors. They're calling for one specific reason,
right?
But as you are talking to them, you discover additional needs or additional ways that could be helpful. If we can fit this need, then maybe they'll have more money to spend on another
Something
issue.
else. Right. Sure. Absolutely.
Very good. Very good. And if people were looking for help with food, how do they do that? What do you normally recommend for that?
Unfortunately, most of them don't have a computer, so it's not like they can just go online and do the application. They actually physically have to call. I just give them the number for the SNAP benefits, and they just go ahead and speak to a representative and get themselves prayerfully signed up if they qualify, which mostly they will, especially if they're on a fixed income.
Very good. Very good.
Or they're going to utilize the church food banks, St. Vincent de Paul. It depends upon which area that they're in. They may even be a member of a church already, and I find out, of course, where they're living, and then, from that point, give them a list of, the churches in the area that do have the food banks that's close for them to travel to.
Very good. So you are keeping a list of all of the other food resources that we have in the area.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I have everything. It's a little sheet.
So that's good. And that's one thing that, I really want people to know is that it's not, here's your number, go ahead and call, and, we're moving on to the next phone call. It's providing the resources that people need where they are. So if they're in Rockledge, we're not going to be giving them the St. Vincent de Paul down here in Palm Bay.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be something that's going to be close to them to get to.
Very good. Very good. We want to keep people local, try to make it as easy as possible for them to get the help that they need.
Absolutely. Because transportation, again, is always an issue, with seniors. Some seniors are afraid to even go out of the house because of COVID, believe it or not. They don't want to go out. And now it's, okay, well, let's order from Publix and get food, that kind of thing, if they're able to. Or we can call up one of the churches and say, hey, listen, we have a senior in the community that needs, canned goods or something, they have a special diet, something that says low salt, let's see what we can put together and prayerfully get, an actual delivery to the home.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, if someone has a question about helping seniors, if they need some resources, Kim, where do they call?
As far as which area of need are we talking about? Are we talking about the actual number for helping seniors?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
What's
sure.
the helping seniors number?
Oh, absolutely. So it's 321-473-7770.
Excellent. Now, we had a call Saturday at our office, and it was a bad situation. Our office manager, Ricky, took the phone call, and it was one of those situations where everything that could have gone wrong apparently has, and it was a neighbor calling, and they were really looking for someone to step in and take over and really help these folks. There was a lot of different things going on, and Ricky, in listening to the entire situation, and there were a lot of different aspects, and it was a situation where these folks could have been not in danger, but definitely in harm's way. So she recommended calling the Department of Children Family Services. And we have had Teresa Russell on before, talking to her about the services that they provide. Have you ever had to recommend that?
Oh,
as a
absolutely.
solution?
Absolutely. And aside from that, also wellness checks to have Brevard County Sheriff go in, or Melbourne PD or Palm Bay, depends upon the location, could even be Cocoa, and go ahead and call the non-emergency number and call in for a wellness check. I've had to do it myself for them because, they're so upset. They don't know what to do. And I just say, listen, I'll call you right back. Let me just call this in for you. And before I know it, the officer's calling me and giving me the report as to what's going on. And then I make my personal notes of it so I know where we're at.
And I encourage people not to be afraid to do that, because in all the years that you've been doing this, Kim, I think the misconception is that they're going to go and rip them out of their home, and it's going to be this terrible thing. But have you found that to be true?
I wouldn't go that drastically. I think it's usually a neighbor that's calling in, or a family friend, or it's a family member out of state. Maybe the person's just not answering their phone, so they're not here. They're living up in New York, or they're in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or tri-state area, and they say, I don't know who to call. What do I do? And I just take it from there, and I just say, you know what? I'll call myself, and I'll be calling you back, and I just put the report in and have the officer or investigator give me a call and let me know, what's going on. And then I call that family member back too. And just, keep the lines of communication open for everybody.
Definitely giving that person peace of mind, and
absolutely.
knowing that, their loved one either is safe and the phone was just
right
off the hook, or,
Right.
God forbid, maybe there was a fall, and
Right.
now they know, and they've gotten the person that help that they need. So it's not something to be scared about calling, and even calling DCF. A lot of
Right.
times they will come out. They always err on the side of keeping that person safe and in their home, with their rights intact. They really hesitate to pull any senior out of their home. So it's not a bad thing to call if you are scared.
Right. That's what they're there for. I mean, that's their job. They know what a wellness check is. They know what it entails. They're not afraid to go into the home and just kind of take a look around to see if it's, not kept up. Check out the lawn. Is the lawn looking overgrown? Just what the condition of the home is, and of course how the person is acting, and just how things are just overall. I mean, that's what they're there for. That's what they do. That's their job. That's a part of it.
So they will, get them the services that they do need, and put in place so that they can stay there, in their
Absolutely.
home,
And
if at all possible.
And if there is something that's serious that needs to be tended to, then they themselves will call DCF in, and that happens pretty quickly, as opposed to they themselves actually doing it.
Right. And if that's, if it's warranted.
Right. Absolutely.
So we're going to give the number out for DCF, the Florida Elder Abuse Hotline number, in case that is needed. That is 1-800-962-2873. And again, that is 1-800-962-2873. So we're talking about the different resources that Kim has come across at helping seniors of Brevard County. But I know we were talking about some not so fun situations that we've gotten into, but I know that you've had some really good situations as well, where you've been able to help, and you've had some really wonderful compliments about what's happened, and some feel-good stories. Can you think of one, maybe your favorite, where you've been able to help and you've gotten a call back?
Absolutely, I have. It's actually pretty recent, too. I had a gentleman that I was working with for a couple of weeks. He was in one of the rehabilitation centers here in Melbourne, and I don't know why, because he never told me. I never asked. I didn't think it was my business as to why he left so abruptly. I do know his family had taken him out of where he was, moved him to the state of New York, and he left behind his debit card and his clothes. Now, if you know anything about upstate New York right now, it might be getting a little bit on the chilly side for a senior. He didn't have his heavy clothes. He doesn't have his sweaters, sweatshirts, that kind of thing. And all he wanted were his clothes back. That's all he wanted. And he said, I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle this. So I actually called up the facility, got a hold of their social worker in their department and said, hey, listen, what are we doing with this? And it turned out that it kind of did get dragged on. Unfortunately, I was going back and forth with a gentleman and letting him know the status of where things were. At first it was, oh yeah, we're going ahead and packing everything up, but we have to wait for the business office to clear for money for the shipment of these big boxes of clothes or whatever it was, that had to be shipped out. And I went back to him. We just went back and forth on it. And sure enough, he did receive a message that he had to sign a certain form. And he did sign the form. And that was expedited. And that made everything go through with the business office and get that payment processed so that then they can actually mail it, because they can't just pull money out of nowhere. It has to come from someplace. And
shipping's expensive right
shipping's
now.
very expensive. Yeah, it was over $100 in shipping from what I was told. It had to be cleared, and it got cleared, and he left a beautiful voicemail saying, I thank you so much helping seniors for everything that Kim has done, etc. It was just it was a good feel-good kind of case, where it wasn't sad or anything of the nature. It was more like, hey, you did something great. The guy got his clothes, and now he's good.
Excellent. So he's got his warm clothes, so he's ready for that upstate New York chill down that I'm sure, having up there. My mom and dad are there right now, so it was 68. They're in a camper, campground up around the Binghamton area, and it was 68 this morning in the camper.
Wow.
So
that's cold.
glad to be warm here in Florida. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about some feel-good stories. We're going to get Kelly from Vitas involved in that, and we'll talk a little bit more about the upcoming Helping Seniors of Brevard County car raffle, the 2021 car raffle. So we'll talk to you soon.
12:32 in the afternoon here on 90.3 FM. You're listening to Helping Seniors of Brevard. As we get back to the program, once again, here's Jennifer Helin.
Welcome back, everyone. Before the break, we were talking about some of our feel-good stories, some uplifting stories of how we've been able to help people. And Kim related a story about keeping a senior warm in upstate New York. And Kelly, what one story kind of comes to mind with Vitas where you were able to really touch someone and it touched your heart?
It's so amazing that Vitas is such a huge sponsor and a huge acknowledger of supporting our military veterans. So being able to honor them in their last days, or maybe they have never been penned or had their story celebrated and their dedication that they've given to their country, to our country, and being able to pen them to share support, we are able to give them a piece of an American flag that's flown as a memento, as basically a special gift. We're able to provide them with salutes and honor flights programs as well that help take them up and honor their years of service. And that is a beautiful moment that we're able to gift them with, and the families are just overwhelmed. They're very emotional and very inspired and grateful for those opportunities that we provide, and also to help home health care agencies and other community services to honor the veterans.
That honoring veterans is always touching. Even taps playing. Taps, I can't do it. I will cry if taps is played. When they do that at a military funeral, if the bugle is out there, forget it. I'm lost.
Well, also too, within light of what's happening over in Afghanistan, we're able to and basically empower our bereavement counselors and our social workers to provide resources and supports for those who are having a hard time dealing with the PTSD that they once had in the association that's going over right now actively in our country and in our world. So enhancing therapeutic care and counseling groups through our bereavement and our counseling team has been very supportive for during this trying time.
That's excellent. And that brings up a great point, because I know I did have a friend who posted on Facebook that with everything that's going on in Afghanistan right now, to please reach out to the folks that you know who served there, because they may not be okay right now with all of this. And is that what your bereavement counselors are seeing?
Absolutely. So we're able to do a well check, and that was a beautiful thing that Kim was talking about too, that well checks are actually a very positive current and a very positive community resource. And just checking in and see how people are responding, letting them know of, community support groups, counseling, grief opportunities, so that they can provide the supports needed to someone who may be emotionally distraught by what's happening.
And not only do we have that happening, but this Saturday happens to be September 11th. So we now know that is Patriot Day. But September 11th is probably another time frame where you see an additional need for support for families.
We do, and I'm so honored that we are sponsoring and being a part of the 2021 Brevard County 20th Anniversary Memorial Tribute that's going to be held at the Veterans Memorial Park, located at 400 South Sykes Creek Parkway in Merritt Island. The citizens of the Brevard County will be joining at 4 p.m. on Saturday, September 11th, supporting and remembering the fire, police, EMS, civilians, and military who lost their lives on 9/11.
So thank you so much for being a sponsor for that. And again, can you please let everybody know where is it? Because it is the 20th anniversary already, if you can believe that, 20th anniversary of 9/11. And if you would like to go out and commemorate that and be a part of that, where are they going?
It's going to be held at the Veterans Memorial Park starting at 4 p.m., and that's located over in Merritt Island at 400 South Sykes Creek Parkway.
So a great event to attend this Saturday to pay your respects to the folks that we lost at 9/11 and all of the folks that went into those buildings and did what they needed to do to help our community. So it's going to be a somber event, I'm sure, but definitely worthwhile, something that you definitely want to go to. So you can do that event on Saturday and then maybe come out on Sunday if you're a 2020 ticket raffle holder. Our Make Good Day Sunday at the museum will be on the 12th. And you can come into the museum. We're going to be serving a simple thing, water, coffee. I'm not sure if we're going to have coffee. I'll have coffee because there will be cookies. And where there's cookies, I should have coffee. 1 to 4 at the American Muscle Car Museum. And invite everybody to come out, but also to please wear their mask that day, because we want everyone to be safe, and we want to have you with us for the 2022 raffle and the 2023 raffle. We want everybody to stay safe. We also want to thank our sponsors, and Vitas happens to be one of them, who help sponsor the Helping Seniors of Brevard County car raffle and sponsor us throughout the year, which helps us keep Kim at her desk and helping people when they call that senior helpline. And Kim, can you give that number again for the senior helpline?
Sure, it's 321-473-7770.
Wonderful, thank you. Now, also on break, we were talking a little bit about some of the additional resources, because of course the three of us here are all in the industry, and we get the phone calls and we see the needs all the time. And we were talking about how, unfortunately, and we talk about this all the time here on the radio, you don't know what you don't know. And there can be something right in front of you, but until you need it, you're really not registering it. I know that's happened within my own family. And there's so many resources here in the county that people just don't even realize are available. And one of those happens to be the Brevard County Fire Rescue, but not just Brevard County, Palm Bay Fire, Cocoa, Satellite Beach. And I know, Kelly, you work with a lot of those folks too with Vitas and partnering with them to help the community. Can you talk a little bit about those resources?
Absolutely. So one of our biggest opportunities that we have in the community is to provide clinicians, community organizations with education and resources. So being able to educate the fire department, who many are also veterans, so we provide extra support and care to them as well, but also providing what is hospice appropriate. So what is someone who has recurring falls, but they're never injured, or they're being seen and treated and released frequently in the ER. Maybe they're short-term hospital visits that are involved, and getting them with education. They know they can call me if they have someone in that needs extra supports in the community. I believe Seniors Helping Seniors of Brevard is actually an active partner as well. Providing those extension of community services. But for me, it's a big honor to provide our service personnel with education.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, so this is Jennifer Helin, and I do sit on the board of Helping Seniors of Brevard County, but I do have my own company, Seniors Helping Seniors, and that's really what we do is we hire seniors to go out and help other seniors. And we do work with the local fire departments, partnering with them if they have a need for a senior who might need a little bit of home care that we could provide. But we also do try to connect them with the right resources as well. So, big shout out to, I know I've worked a lot with Satellite Beach, and they've got the Stop By and Say Hi program. They've got a lot of community medic programs where they really go into the house. And I always said Satellite Beach is the place to be a senior because they've got so many things in place already to help seniors stay in their homes and safely. And they do work well with a lot of different companies like Vitas, like Seniors Helping Seniors, making sure that people have what they need. And glad to see that Brevard County Fire Rescue has also taken that community medic to mind and providing some additional assistance for people out in the county that maybe they hadn't 5-10 years ago.
There's a lot of struggle with, even our recurrent callers for the paramedic programs who are homeless. We can provide services to anyone. It doesn't matter where you live or what your living situation is. If you need, symptom management and end-of-life supports, then we can certainly help arrange that. And I think this is the biggest opportunity today. This is so amazing that we're all three here because you have all of the community resources right here bundled together with Kim, who I speak to her quite frequently, and I'm always sharing information, and she's updating me on some of the challenges that she's seeing and the gift that you give over at Seniors Helping Seniors with helping the seniors give back to their own age group by volunteering.
Right. And actually, they do get paid.
Exactly. That's the biggest bonus, right?
It's like a volunteer, but they do get paid. So, yeah, it's we do have a lot of knowledge here, right here in this room. And that's one of the benefits of calling the hotline and calling and talking to Kim, because if she doesn't know the answer, she knows somebody who does. And it's like, I always say, it's like having somebody in the family that if somebody has a medical problem, you call the nurse in the family and you get the lowdown. All right, what's the real deal? How do I do this? What is this all about? And you have that in Helping Seniors of Brevard County. You have that in Kim. You can call and get the real scoop on what's going on. In your situation, what is the right resource, and where do I go?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's funny because when callers call in, they start with one subject, and before we know it, we're talking about wills, and then it's a need for an attorney. I mean, there's so many different things that go on. It could be 1 minute we're talking about a handyman service, the next minute it's, I need a will. I'm like, whoa, where'd that come from? I mean, they kind of, I guess the best way to explain it is that they trust what I'm telling them, and they get that confidence, and I just give them whatever resources that they need and then some. So
exactly. So yeah, they'll call for one thing, but once they have that trusted ear and they know that you're listening, hey, well, since you helped me with that, What else can you help me with?
While you're at it, do you know the name of a really good attorney? Yeah, that kind of thing. Yep, happens all the time.
Absolutely. And we know where to send them. We've got some great sponsors of helping seniors in Brevard County that do great things for our seniors. Last week, I was on the radio with William Johnson, Bill Johnson, great elder attorney, Ruth Rhodes, the law office of Amy B. Van Fossen. All three very well-respected elder attorneys in the county and all wonderful supporters of helping seniors of Brevard County. So we want to encourage people to not only call helping seniors, but also support our sponsors, because they're the ones that are keeping Kim, like I said, in her seat and answering the phone and helping our seniors. Now I'm going to switch gears here for just a second, because I would like to talk about the 2021 Helping Seniors Car Raffle at the American Muscle Car Museum. This year's grand drawing is going to be held October 9th, Saturday evening, 6 to 9. You can win a 2021 Dodge Challenger, a 2021 Chevrolet Camaro, a 2021 Mazda Miata, or a 2021 Kia Sportage. And I just had a gentleman stop in the office this week and buy a ticket, because you do have to be in it to win it. And I think everyone knows that I'm Team Dodge, totally sold on the Dodge, although I will be picking up the Miata to take it out this weekend for a church car show. It's a hard thing, but somebody has to do it. So I'm hoping that I'll get a nice convertible to drive around. But Kim, what is your car? If you win, what are you choosing?
Oh, believe it or not, because I'm a big dog person, it's got to be the Kia Sportage. I've got to haul at least 2 Great Danes in it.
Ooh, she's got to have that back seat for the Great Danes.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
The heads have got to be able to pop out, and maybe a sunroof too. That would be nice.
Oh, there. Now you'll know who Kim is as she's driving down the road in that Kia Sportage with the sunroof open and the 2 Great Danes sticking out.
That's right. Absolutely. You got it.
Kelly, how about you? What are you choosing?
I think I've got to choose something with horses. So probably the Dodge Challenger.
Oh,
it's solid and heavy, and it's got great pickup.
There you go. I've got someone on my side. Team Dodge. They are all great cars. You really can't go wrong with any of them. They're all beautiful. When we did the Dodge versus Chevy last year, that Camaro, it wasn't a fair fight. They did bring a Camaro with a little bit of a better engine, and it drove really well. They're all nice cars, but you do have to be in it to win it. So you can call Kim at Helping Seniors of Brevard County. And what's that phone number?
Again, 321-473-7770.
You can also go to the HelpingSeniorsCarRaffle.com and purchase tickets online. You can stop at the Helping Seniors office on US 1. I know I have tickets. I bet Kelly does too. Hit us up for tickets. We always have a little bit of Joe Steckler and I have a little bit of a competition going on every year to see who sells the most tickets, and he almost always beats me. So always trying to sell a few more tickets than Joe. But all in good fun, it goes to help support Helping Seniors of Brevard County. Your $25 for one ticket gets you into the car raffle. So that one of those beautiful cars could be yours, but it also gets you into the Muscle Car Museum the night of the event on October 9th. And that is a spectacular event because you get to see all those cars. Now, Kim, have you been in the museum?
I have, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And do you consider yourself a car person?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. My father used to race Porsches and Corvettes, so yeah.
And what did you think of it?
Oh, I loved it. I thought of him. I thought of the two of us walking around together and saying, I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
And how about you, Kelly? Have you been in there?
Oh, absolutely. We represented a great, the last car giveaway, and the energy that's there when you arrive is because just a little bit of nostalgia and its history and its ingenuity and being able to see the transition of classics.
It's amazing, isn't it? And he's got more cars this year than he did last year. It's amazing. We're now many double deckers and some new cars, some different cars that they've take some cars out, put them in the back, put some new cars in the front. So every year it's slightly different on the cars that we get to see. And we will have, this year finally we'll be live and in person. So on October 9th, you will not only get into the museum, but we will have soft drinks, water, wine, beer. We will have food. Mark has been very gracious to supply us with lots of different things. He's amazingly generous to open this museum to nonprofits and do all of this for us to help sponsor the continuation and make sure that we are getting our seniors the resources that they need. So definitely come out. It's $25 for one ticket or $5 for 100. That's the best deal. So you can get 5 entries into the raffle, but also entries into the museum. So it's a great date night. Come on out, have a great time that evening, and then you could be the lucky winner to drive home in one of those 2021 raffle cars. John, I think I've asked you before, but what car are you choosing?
Well, I've got to go with the Camaro.
Aha.
Yeah.
Dissentings.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I saw a convertible one the other day, and they're hot-looking cars.
And that's what last year's winner did.
Yeah.
They took the Camaro and they upgraded to a convertible. I think they upgraded to a little bit of a higher engine, and beautiful car.
Yeah, they're both the Camaro and the Dodge. They're really popular cars. The Mazda Miata, that's a hot-looking car as well. That's a very good-looking car. So they're all great, and I think the winning person who is fortunate enough to have the winning ticket is going to really be enjoying one of those 4 cars, and as our winners in the past have. And I know Boniface Hires has been great in being able to make those available to us, and they've done a great job over the years as well.
They really have. AJ has made these cars available to us. They allowed us to go in and do spots the whole month of August at each one of the dealerships. We got to see the beautiful new dealerships, looking at the all the new cars in the showroom. That was a lot of fun. Our barbecue by Dennis Mannion. So we have had a lot of support, a lot of community support for this raffle and for helping seniors.
Dennis takes that barbecuing very seriously. It's high tech for him.
It is. He is the pit master.
Yeah.
I don't mess with that.
He starts barbecuing in the middle of the night, and he's able to monitor it. He's got a camera set up on it. He's got a temperature device he can raise and lower from his home. I don't think he barbecues from his house. He does it from his warehouse, which isn't far from the radio station, I believe. But he really has that down to a science, and his barbecuing is great.
He does have it down to a science. You're right. When they say that there's an app for that, there really is, because he did show me the one time on his phone. There's an app, and he can regulate the temperature. He can see where it is. He can bump it up. He can bump it down. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and he told me that he starts doing that, I believe, at midnight is when he fires it up, and has it cook overnight, and he gets up in the middle of the night to check it remotely, and it's kind of wild.
It's amazing, but it is good barbecue. So hopefully we'll be able to do that again next year.
Yeah.
At the different dealerships. I don't know. Maybe we can talk him into making some barbecue for the night of the event.
I wouldn't be surprised if he could do that. And I know he enjoys barbecuing. He's quite the pit master, as you said. And I'm sure he can be talked into that because his barbecuing is, as far as I'm concerned, the best in Brevard.
Ooh, so now we've got a challenge. We've got to call Dennis and see if we can't get some barbecue there so that everyone who comes out to the museum on October 9th can try it out.
They will not be disappointed. It's worth the price of admission.
All right, I've got something on my list to do now today. I'll be calling Dennis. We'll see if we can get that barbecue
Tell him
out there.
we talked about him on the radio, and
Now he has to.
Yeah, now he has to.
He's
That's
famous.
Right. Yeah.
Well, very good. Well, before we wrap it up, I'd like to have my guests tell a little bit more, or well, again, where we can get in touch with them. We've talked about a bunch of resources today, and I know that you may not have had the opportunity to write them all down, but there is a wealth of knowledge in this room, and I encourage you to reach out and talk to anybody in this room about any questions that you have, needs that you have. So Kelly, let's start with you. If someone wants to reach Kelly at Vitas Healthcare, what do they need to do?
One of the first things they can do is come out to One Senior Place on Friday at 10 a.m. We have an amazing Be Healthy, Be Happy health fair. There's going to be free flu vaccines available as well. But my phone number is the best way to reach me, and that's 321-831-8165. That's 321-831-8165.
Thank you so much, Kelly, for being here with us today. And Miss Kim Bernard, our information specialist at Helping Seniors of Brevard County. How can people reach out to you?
So the best way to get me is, again, going to be the number 321-473-7770. Again, that number is 321-473-7770.
And I'd also encourage people to go online to helpingseniors.brevard.org. There are recordings of all of these radio shows. There are TV shows, and I know, Kelly, you've been in a couple of them too, so is Kim, and I have as well, talking about different subjects, different articles that have been written. So I encourage you to go on. You can search, so you can scroll through if you would like to all of those different publications, but you can also search if you're looking for specific information, say on stroke or on home care or on hospice, on healthcare. You can search all of those different periodicals and come up with the information that you need. John?
Jennifer, before we say goodbye for today, I know Jim Votro wanted to talk for a moment about scams that have been perpetrated on seniors. And Jim, if you want to make mention of some of that to make people aware.
Kim, I don't know if you've noticed this or have been getting any phone calls regarding this, but lately it seems like the telemarketers and the scammers are really running high and fast. And just want to caution all the seniors out there to be very careful on the telephone. If you don't recognize a number, it should go to voicemail because a lot of times they're going to try and get your information. Anybody that calls you and asks for information on the telephone, definitely do not give that information unless you are positive that it is something that you need to give back. But then you can always say, I'll call you back. What is the number? And you get the number, and if it says, well, I'm from the IRS or something of that nature, call the IRS, and because generally they don't make phone calls. And that's been running around here recently, just along with a whole host of other things that people are just really trying to take advantage of seniors. And it is the senior population that is being targeted right now.
Absolutely. And I encourage anyone to go on to Phil Archer. State Attorney Phil Archer has an email that he sends out. It's also on Facebook. It's a monthly periodical that comes out, newsletter. And he will talk about the scam of the day, what's happening lately. So encourage everybody to take advantage of that because you're right. There are a lot of phone calls. There's also a lot of text messages and emails.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if you've got a cell phone, if you get a text message that you've got a receipt for something that you haven't purchased, or you've got they didn't overcharge and here's where your refund is coming from. Those are scams. Do not click on the link. It will put malware on your phone. So
I keep getting one, it looks like, because so many of us read our emails and text very quickly, but I keep getting one that would fool a lot of people. It did at me first because it looked like it came from UPS. And in reality, they've inverted the letters. It's USP or something like that. That makes it look like it's legit, but totally bogus and really trying to get people in their wicked web. But it's another scam.
you have to be very careful.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Jennifer, we're out of time for today.
Well, on behalf of Helping Seniors of Brevard County, this is Jennifer Helin with Seniors Helping Seniors. I thank all of our guests. Thank you for our listeners, and thank you for the support for Helping Seniors of Brevard County. We'll see you on Saturday up at the Merritt Island Memorial. We'll see you on Sunday at the American Muscle Car Museum, and again on October 9th for the grand drawing.
Thank you, Jennifer. We appreciate it. You've been listening to Helping Seniors of Brevard, heard every Wednesday, 12 noon to 1 o'clock, right here on 90.3 FM.